Hey everyone, this is Quakey from Next Gen Windows, and yes, you see it and read it right there on the title of the video and on the title of this article on winbeta.org. Microsoft reportedly dropping Windows Phone and Nokia brand names in favor of Windows and just plain Lumia. So I'm not going to read this article clearly because anyone can just go to this website and read the article on their own time. But in summary, I'm just going to say that's exactly seems like what they're doing, because if you look closely, and according to this article, they mentioned the Lumia 830 and the 730. When they did the advertisements on those two devices, they failed to mention Windows Phone. All they did was say Lumia 830 and Lumia 730. When they did the Cortana videos, comparing it to Siri, again, they kind of failed to mention Windows Phone. They just said, they just brought in the Windows logo in the corner and they showed you a phone, which is a Windows Phone. That was it. They didn't say anything about on Windows Phone 8.1 with Cortana or something like that. They didn't say anything like that. All they said was, Cortana on phone. That's kind of what they were saying. So it's just an interesting thing to think about, because when you think about it, they didn't even mention Nokia, like the Nokia Lumia 830 or 730. They only mentioned Lumia 830, Lumia 730. So it's kind of the whole thing that makes sense around what they're trying to do. They were thinking a long while ago about the whole one Windows, the whole one Windows thing, where they wanted Windows to be across, TV, which is your Xbox, your computer, which is obviously your Windows laptop, tablet, desktop, and phone, which is Windows Phone. And already I heard rumors about them combining RT and Windows Phone together in this next upcoming preview release of Windows. So notice how I'm not even going to say Windows Phone. It's going to be hard for me to adjust, but that's what they're thinking of doing. And I saw a confirmation on The Verge. Yes, they're trying to combine them together in the next big release of Windows, which is Threshold. So when you see Threshold for Windows Phone, or when you see Threshold, I'm just going to continue to say Windows Phone, but when you see Threshold for Windows Phone, and when you see Threshold for Windows, like Windows Desktop or laptop or tablet, any of those things, I'm just going to say Windows Computer. So when you see Threshold for Windows Computer and Threshold for Windows Phone, those are just going to go under one category, and that category is just going to be Windows. So it's going to be Windows on phone and Windows on computer, and that's it. So you can only imagine, I keep rubbing my hand against this thing, but you can only imagine sort of the confusion they're going to have. So instead of calling it the Windows Phone, the Microsoft Windows Phone Lumia, or some long name like that, I feel as if all they're going to do is call it, say for the 1020, for instance, they would just call it the Microsoft Lumia 1020. That's it. So that way Lumia is the brand name for phone, Windows on phone, and maybe tablet, like tablet up to 8 inches or something like that. Or is it 10? I made a video talking about the sizes on Windows will go on now. But yeah, Lumia will be the brand name for the portability devices, as in tablets and phones. And aside from Surface, hopefully aside from Surface already has its own established name. And then just Windows in general will go, Windows by itself will go its normal way, the same way it's always been, which is, say, Windows 9 or whatever it is, or just Windows maybe in general, and they'll just update it yearly or bi-yearly and things like that for the desktop side and laptop side and things like that. So that's an interesting thing to think about. Thinking about how Microsoft is in the whole scheme of changing things up and rebranding things. Already they've done the same with MSN and Bing. A lot of the Bing apps, in fact, all of the Bing apps are going to be switching from Bing app to MSN. So it's going to be MSN Newsreader, or MSN News, MSN Sports, MSN Health and Fitness, MSN, all those things, because they're thinking MSN is almost like the website you go to for that stuff. If you go to msn.com right now, they have a section for science and technology, news, health and fitness, and all that stuff. So that makes more sense than Bing. Bing, I feel as if, aside from being a search platform, it is also just going to be a platform into searching on things in general. It's just going to be for searching, and that's it. It's not going to be about news and things like that. Otherwise, people would have started thinking that Bing could have been the replacement of MSN, which sounded like it in the beginning, but now they're trying to wrap around MSN onto the news side of things and the health side of things, and the things that MSN has been known for this whole time. They're trying to keep that locked together, similar to how Outlook, originally it was Outlook and it was Hotmail. Outlook did the same thing as Hotmail, only Outlook was on your computer only. You had to install it from Microsoft Office, and Hotmail was on the web. Now they're trying to think of Outlook and drop the whole Hotmail name, but you can still go to hotmail.com and it'll go to outlook.com. And they're the one and the same. So Outlook is essentially their mail platform. Bing is their search platform. MSN is their news platform, news and other related things platform. Windows is their operating system platform, if that makes perfect sense right there. And Lumia is their mobile operating, like it's Windows. Oh man, I'm getting confused. Lumia will be their mobile Windows platform. It'll still be the same OS. It's just going to be under Windows Lumia or just Microsoft Lumia. So it's probably a little confusing to wrap around. So in summary, before I got confused that last second, in summary, it is Bing as search, Windows as OS, Lumia as mobile OS. It will be MSN as news, Outlook as mail. Lumia and Windows are obviously one and the same now. Well, Lumia will just be what smaller devices are called, and Windows will be in general on your computer as your main OS on the computer. So hope that wasn't too confusing to wrap your mind around, but you'll get a feel of what Microsoft is starting to do now in the near future. Probably September 30th is when they're announcing a threshold preview, and then I think that they said at the end of the year is when or early January is when the Windows Phone threshold or Lumia threshold or whatever they decide to call it, threshold preview for mobile devices will be coming out. So we'll get a hands-on on all of that stuff, and you can just look forward to in the next year and a half, or just in the next half year or so, by summertime of next 2015, you can just expect some crazy news coming out of Microsoft's area. It's going to be a crazy year coming up ahead, just like this year was kind of crazy with the shifting and the new CEO stuff. It's going to be a crazy, crazy year for Microsoft coming ahead too. So just expect things to start accelerating in pace, and how things are going to start wrapping around. Xbox is going to be evolving even more because of all of the things, the updates they're coming out with every month. In fact, next month they're adding a whole bunch of new stuff for October. Unfortunately, I'm not in the preview program for that, but it's just going to be a crazy, crazy year in Microsoft coming up, starting with the whole threshold thing and the renaming schemes that are going on. But aside from that, if you're confused by any of this as I was, feel free to comment, message me on Twitter, Next Gen Windows. In fact, on any network that you can think of that I hopefully am on, it would be at Next Gen Windows. You can ask me any question from there. Hopefully I'll be able to answer your questions. Aside from that, this has been Quaku from Next Gen Windows, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.